So I wanted to summarize 10 positives in my analysis, 10 positives that have come in the last year. We know the negatives. I don't need to go over the statistics. 10 positives. Number one, for the first time in the 75 plus years of conflict, the amount of global attention that the plight of the Palestinians has garnered is unprecedented. The amount of global attention. For 75 years, we have not achieved even a fraction of what we have achieved in the last 1 year. People are now for the first time understanding what happened. The Balfour Declaration was mentioned on BBC for the first time ever. So point number one, the global attention that this conflict has garnered, never in the 75 years of conflict have we seen this attention. Number two, what this has generated is diplomatic support from many countries in the world, which again is unprecedented. Never in 75 years have the sheer number of countries that have supported Palestine in the last year come forth. South Africa, public support, suing in the ICJ, as we're going to come back to. Netherlands has said they're asking for a Palestinian state. Belgium has called for a Palestinian state. Ireland, constantly berating Israel, constantly supporting rights of the Palestinian people and saying that they know exactly what this feels like because they've gone through the conflict. Portugal, of all countries, you would think an empire that has a colonial past, but no, actually they're siding with Palestine and they are very vocal in support of Palestine. Sweden is calling for a two-state solution. Unbelievably, even France has garnered, attention for calling for a boycott of arms to Israel. France, of all countries, is now saying that we need to take action against Israel. Point number three, not only individual countries, but again, for the first time, the United Nations in its explicit condemnation of Israel. The United Nations, the public PR is that all peoples are equal, all countries are equal. The ICJ has condemned Israel in the most unequivocal, harshest terms imaginable. Point number four, a number of Muslim countries, and I don't want to mention them because I don't want to get us or you to get into trouble, but we know who they are. A number of regional Muslim countries were one hair's width away from normalizing relations with the apartheid regime, exchanging ambassadors, exchanging airports, opening up tourism, opening peace treaties. Because of this, last year, every single Muslim country that was thinking of normalizing had to halt. And eventually, they had to at least verbally condemn Israel. Point number five, for the first time, the boycott and divestment in the BDS movement, right? For the first time, it has demonstrated its effectiveness at the highest level imaginable. They're losing billions of dollars. Point number six. Point number six of the benefits that have come out is the solidarity protests around the world, from Australia all the way to even Japan and of course America, across student campuses, literally people coming to the streets. This demonstrates the hearts of the people have now been captured and they love the Palestinian cause. Can you imagine students taking time out of their schedule, students who are busy graduating, wanting to get good grades? We've had students that have been threatened with expulsion and they're still marching in protest against Israel and in support of Palestinians. We've had students, and I saw it with my own eyes when I went to the MIT campus, the graduate students who are on visas, and the administration threatened them that if you are going to protest, you're going to get your visa stripped. No, they protested. Point number seven of the biggest positives that have come from the last year's debacle, the genocide against our Palestinian brothers and sisters, is that more and more people are seeing for themselves the hypocrisy, not only of the Western superpowers when they claim they are supporting freedom, they're supporting human rights, they're supporting democracy, but in fact the hypocrisy of the world order, the hypocrisy of these entities like the UN that are supposed to cater to all of humanity, but in reality they are selectively catering. The hypocrisy of the media as well. And so more and more people are opening their eyes and they're seeing the reality. Point number eight, the apartheid country of Israel itself has shown their own sheer desperation, the sheer barbarism of their tactics. They carpet bombed a small square of land. The highest concentration of human beings in the world is in Gaza. You should know this point. The highest concentration of human beings in the world is in Gaza. 2.2 million trapped in barely a few square miles of space. 2.2 million people. And Israel carpet bombed a defenseless group of people. Per square meter, more bombs were dropped on Gaza than in World War II in Dresden and other places. Per square meter, more bombs have been dropped on a defenseless population than in World War II. And yet still, Israel has not succeeded in its mission. Still, the Palestinian spirit is strong. Still, the resistance is there. They have failed in terms of an effective military campaign. They're still battling a besieged people. These people don't have weapons to fight with. They don't have bombs to fight with. They don't have anything to fight with, and they're still fighting. What does that show? 1 year has gone on, and instead of the Palestinians fleeing, can you believe 300% increase? I just looked up the statistic today. 300% increase of who? Of Israelis fleeing Israel back to where? Their home countries. That's not their home country. People going back to Poland, people coming back to Brooklyn, people coming back to Ukraine. 300% increase in the last few months. Go look at the TV and media. Israeli airports are full of who? Israelis leaving. Leaving to where? Back home where they came from. Subhanallah, the Palestinians are right there and Israelis are packing their bags and fleeing out. Point number 9, one of the greatest benefits we see is the public conversion, not to Islam, that's point number 10, the intellectual conversion of an entire group of thinkers from the far right to the far left. Entire groups of thinkers have converted from being pro-Israel to becoming pro-Palestinian. Entire spectrum from the far right. You had somebody like Candace Owens. Candace Owens, who was no fan of the Muslims 5 years ago. She had some really nasty things to say about us. But she herself says that because of this reality and because of the barbarity of Israel, she was forced to study this history, and all of a sudden her tune has changed 180 degrees. And then the far left, the famous, perhaps the darling of the left wing before he released this book, famous African intellectual Ta-Nehisi Coates. Last month he releases a book in which he talks about the Palestinian cause and reality. Because he visited Palestine and Israel, he completely shifted his perspective. Can you imagine if he was born and raised there? In my entire life, I have never seen the sheer quantity of our youth around the globe. I've just done a tour of England and Germany and other countries. I'm traveling around the world in these last 10 months. I have never seen our youth so passionate about doing something, coming together. They themselves are becoming part of this ummah. The brothers and sisters in Palestine, they have rekindled the concept of ummah in the hearts of the ummah. Single-handedly, they have unified the ummah, and they have separated the people who love Allah from the munafiqeen in our midst. They have taken the people who love Allah and joined them all together, and those whom we don't want, those who are hidden munafiq amongst us, this cause has separated them. And we see the reality of those who love Allah and want to help the ummah versus those who love the dunya and the dinar and the dirham and the royal families. We see this reality, Ra'i al-Ain. Our brothers and sisters in Gaza have done what nothing else in my lifetime has done, and that is to rekindle the love of Iman. As Allah says in the Quran, don't think what happened to you is bad, rather it is for your benefit. And to conclude, as Muslims, we always are optimistic in Allah's promise. We always look at the bright side, and that is we put our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we will see our brothers and sisters in Gaza free, and we will see the izzah that is given to those people who have been tortured, who have sacrificed so much for this ummah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless them all.